You ready? Uncle, you gotta lock that door.
Okay, okay, let me see. Okay.
Yes. Greetings in the name of the Most High. Yes, and we are going to start tonight with herbs. Micah Philip, blessed night. You know. All right, wonderful. Sunshine Mitchell, watching eye. Princess TJ, blessed love. Micah Philip, blessed love to you. You know, we're in a cold, but you know, we're trying to keep it, you know what I mean, straight, you know. Valda, good night. How is everybody? Sunshine, good night. Wonderful. Jackie, good night. Give thanks. All right, we have a few good news testimonial tonight to tell you all that we have some people who are fixing the troubles. Yeah, yeah. There you go. Wonderful. So let's go one time. I want to give all the praises and the glory to the Most High. You know, the Most High, Jehovah God, the Most High, the creator of the heavens and the earth, and the ultimate healer of all things. Without him, there is no healing. You understand? Because he's the one that put all the herbs on the earth for us to use as medicine. So we have some good news tonight from one person we had from June of 2019 to this day. We had an antiviral program to kill the herpes virus, where they say can't fix. And this lady here went back to the doctor today and sent me a message today. She was rampant with the herpes simplex 1 and 2 virus. Yeah? I went back to the doctor on Friday past. They called me just a minute ago and said what I had is gone. Because she tested positive before. She said it must be inactive or something. That's what they all say. It must be inactive or something. You know what I mean? Because to them there's no cure for anything. But we told you last night that your cells, them white blood cells, start to find little spaces to go into to kill anything for you. To kill for you. You know what I mean? To destroy your enemies. Alright? That's amazing news, she says. But after I had did the antiviral mix, the onion, the garlic, the ginger juicing, I didn't get a breakout till this day. And now, she said, it's gone. See? So the same doctors who saying there's no cure for all these things, they want to tell you no, it's inactive. You're right. Next person. Next person. Hi, Patrick. Just a note to let you know my daughter, I don't want to call her name, got back her vision in her right eye. And she went back to Barbados on Saturday. Thanks for all you have done and your advice. This young lady came in here with lupus, SLE lupus. And they had to bring her in because she couldn't see. You understand? From Barbados. Flew up here. Couldn't see. And because we changed her eating habits and balanced back her immune system, now she can see in one eye, and then later on, we know that she's going to see in the other eye. Because she was blind. Am I lying, brother?
That's right.
She was taken in here by her mother. And the mother sent me a message. She can now see in one eye. And if it's God's glory and God's protection, she's going to see in the other eye. All right? And that's what we're trying to teach people every day, you know? That if you put your body in a state whereby the body could heal itself, your body in turn will work for you. and your body itself will take care of you properly. All right? Wonderful. So tonight, we're going and talk about over here. We're going to talk about herbs and their categories. We're going to talk about herbs and their categories. All right? All the people who is on the antiviral program. We just had a person who have HIV. Huh? Remember HIV?
Yes.
Came right with HIV.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? HIV. Human immunovirus. Not full-blown AIDS. And the message was in my phone. I could read it for you again too. All the pain I had down in my legs disappeared. That's crazy. It's not crazy because you change the way you eat. That's the reason why all her pain disappeared. And her viral load is back up to normal again without taking no antiviral drugs. So how they say the body can heal itself? Come on, man. All right? Wonderful. HIV. Now, herbs and the categories. Herbs and the categories. We got food herbs. We're going to look at the food herbs and what they do. Onion is a food herb. Ginger is a food herb. Cloves is a food herb. Garlic is a food herb. Rosemary is a food herb. Thyme is a food herb. Basil is a food herb. Turmeric or saffron is a food herb. Oregano is a food herb. Cardamom seed is a food herb. Leeks and nettle are food herbs. Look at them over here. Now let's find out why these are called food herbs. Although some of the herbs are food herbs, we can also use them as medicinal plants too. But all of them are food herbs. We put them in our foods, right? There is a reason why we put these plants in our food for different reasons. Let's go to this one over here, cloves. Cloves have eugenol. And the purpose of eugenol is to kill any microbes, organism in your intestines or in the stomach. That's the purpose of cloves. And that is the reason why anybody from the Caribbean will tell you that they put cloves in the pork, the ham. The older people should push these clove part in the ham in December to kill the parasites that the pork have. Factual. But when you put the cloves in your food, when you eat the cloves in the food, if the food starts fermenting in the intestines, because the clove is in your food, it's called a food herb, the eugenol and other antiviral and antibacterial and antifungal, antiparasitic chemicals in this plant will kill the parasites in your intestines before they can infest your large bowel and form colonies there. That's how cloves are used. So we call cloves a food herb. This one, your cardamom seed. Cardamom seed is very important for digestive health. So when you put cardamom seed in your food as a seasoning, when the food gets into your stomach, the cardamom seed helps to normalize the acid or prevent the stomach from producing too much acid, boring walls in your digestive tract. Because we said before that your stomach also produces mucus to protect the stomach walls from the same acid that the stomach produces. But when you put the cardamom in your food as a seasoning, the cardamom helps the stomach to produce enough acid so it don't harm your stomach long term. Thyme. Thyme. Thyme is another food plant. And the purpose of thyme in your food is to get rid of any condition in the lung. It is antiviral and it is antibacterial. So once you put thyme in your food as a seasoning, the thyme goes in, and once you start eating your foods, anything that is in the lung or in the chest cavity would be killed if it's a viral infection or if it is a bacterial infection. That's the purpose of thyme. Thyme is also used for fighting HIV, herpes, and all the other viruses because it is both antiviral and antibacterial. Peppers. We use the different colors of peppers. Remember we said you have to have a rainbow diet. The rainbow diet is different colors. You have to have colors in your foods. And the purpose of these foods, we call them sweet peppers, in the food, is to help the heart to create havoc in the intestines with good flora, and also to help the lung, the yellow one, the yellow peppers. So all these are food plants, and they have a purpose for being in your foods, to protect your stomach, to protect your lung, to protect your chest cavity, and protect the small and the large intestines, and also protect the pancreas. Look at this one over here now. Ginger. Ginger is very significant to put in your food, especially if you're eating flesh foods. If you're eating beef and pork and chicken and fish and turkey. Because what the ginger does as a food herb, although it is a medicinal plant, ginger also detoxifies your flesh foods. Ginger also detoxifies the ammonia in the foods. When your protein breaks down into ammonia, ginger detoxifies that. But ginger also is significant in keeping the stomach from being nauseated and helping the circulatory system at the same time. So ginger is a food herb, but it is also a medicinal plant. One here, basil. Basil is also a food plant. And the purpose of basil in your food as a seasoning is to enhance your mood. Because once you put basil in your food as a seasoning with all the other seasoning over here, the basil works in terms of keeping the nerves in the stomach well, and also feeding the nerves in the stomach, but also helping your mood. Basil is in your food. It's called a food plant. Next one. This one right here. Oregano. This food plant is very significant for any viral infection. Chicken pox, herpes, segamegalo. It is a food plant. So once you put this particular herb in your food as a food herb, it helps to kill viruses, especially intestinal viruses. This plant right here. Any virus that is found in your body, as this food plant will do, kill any virus in the body as a food herb. These are what we call food plants. Onions, food plant. Garlic, food plants. And these foods are put, these food herbs are put in your food to protect you from all these organisms that try to harm you. That's why we call them food herbs. All right? Wonderful. Look at them here. Don't forget them. Onions, garlic, ginger, cardamom seed, cloves, thyme, red, green pepper, yellow peppers. Huh? Not the bell peppers, the sweet peppers. The basil, oregano, and all of the other food plants are in your food for a purpose. Wonderful. Let's go to the medicinal plants. These plants here are called medicinal plants, meaning that we use these plants when a person have a disease or a sickness. And once we repair the sickness of that individual, we stop the plants. We stop the use of the plants, because these are called medicinal plants. So we're not supposed to use them on a regular basis. We're supposed to only use them when we want to either detoxify the body, remove a sickness, and once the sickness is gone, we stop use the plants. And we come back again for another couple of months and use the plants again. Look at them. Lily of the Valley. One of the best plants for your heart. But lily of the valley is a medicinal plant, but it is also a poison plant too. Poisonous plant. Foxglove. One of the best herbs for the heart, for a failing heart. This herb right here. This plant they take to make a drug called digoxin or lenoxin, the same drug, for a failing heart. So they remove the chemicals from this plant, foxglove, and put it into a drug called digoxin and lenoxin for people who are suffering from a failing heart. But God put alkaloids in these plants, good and bad. So these two herbs here are medicinal plants, but they fall also under the poisonous plants because of the alkaloids that they seem to have. Medicinal plants, sea moss, timeh, very important for mineral content, very important for the thyroid gland if it's underactive, not overactive. If your thyroid is overactive, you can't use sea moss. If your thyroid is underactive, you can use the iodine from the sea moss to make your thyroxine. So it is a medicinal plant for the thyroid gland. It is a medicinal plant to keep the body in an alkaline state. Don't forget. Watercress. Here again. Watercress. Watercress is a medicinal plant. Look at right here. Watercress. Medicinal plant. The reason why watercress is a medicinal plant because watercress is grown in drains. So watercress is full of minerals. And watercress is very important to prevent oxidative damage to your liver. It is very significant for good liver health. It is very important for high cholesterol. It is very significant to remove lots of fat from your liver and also to prevent oxidative damage to your liver. Watercress does that because it grows in drains where all the minerals is at. Solomon seal. Where is that? Solomon seal. Another medicinal plant, especially for the lung. If you have any troubles in your lung, this plant can be used to help to repair your lung, especially if you have a dry cough, if you have a dry condition of the lung. This herb is a medicinal plant for coughs of the lung and also for bronchitis and any kind of condition of the lung. When the lung condition is repaired, we remove the plant from the diet. So you have to fix the troubles, and when you repair the troubles, then you can stop using the plants. Next one. Chaga. Chaga is a mushroom. It has what we call mushroom polysaccharide. This plant here, very unknown plant, but it have a chemical in this plant called hectin. And hectin have what we call anti-tumor activity. It shrinks tumors. And it also normalizes a person's immune reservoir. So when a person have AIDS, they have HIV, they have cancer, or they have any kind of autoimmune disease like lupus, scleroderma, muscular dystrophy, myasthenia gravis. You understand? You know what I mean? Multiple sclerosis. This plant here normalizes the function of the immune system. But if you have a tumor anywhere of the body, in the brain, in the stomach, in the intestines, this herb, because of the hectin or hectin chemical, it helps to shrink tumors any part of the body. Chaga, mixed with shiitake ganoderma, cat's claw, and also red clover and chaparral, it's a boss for shrinking tumors anywhere of the body. Cherry tree. Cherry tree. Look over here. Medicinal plant. And this herb is used for people who have troubles in the gland, in the pituitary gland, especially women who is suffering from PCOS, who is suffering from ovarian cysts, who is suffering from uterine fibroids. This plant is medicinal. People who have tumors in the pituitary gland, not big enough to harm them. This plant is very significant for the pituitary gland because it normalizes the function of the gland by helping the gland to normalize LH, luteinizing hormone, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and in turn, once it normalizes these two hormones, LH and FSH, a woman's progesterone and her estrogen levels become normalized. And she repairs her PCOS. She repairs her ovarian cysts. She repairs her uterine fibroid because the both hormones are in balance. Number 3, once you use this plant and you have any troubles in the pituitary, in the anterior part of the gland, this particular herb helps to normalize the function of that gland. So this is what we call a medicinal plant for the pituitary gland. You understand? Next one, elecampane. Where is it? Right over here. Elecampane is what we call an expectorant plant, meaning that if you have any kind of mucus or you have cancer in your lung, and you really know that cancer cells also make tumors. If you have any kind of tumor in your lung and you have the cancer cells that is causing excessive amount of mucus in your lung, because cells do cause tumors, this herb will help to expel the excessive amount of mucus from the lung. If you have bronchitis, laryngitis, if you have cancer in the lung and the cancer cells is making lots of mucus, this herb will help to remove the excessive amount of mucus that the cancer cells is producing in your lung. It is a medicinal plant for the lung, but it is also a plant for parasites. If there is any kind of parasite in your lung, if there is any kind of parasite in your intestines, this herb with other plants will kill the parasites. Around the full moon, don't forget now, burdock root. Burdock root. Burdock root is another medicinal plant. Work on the lymphatic system. It's called an alternative plant. And burdock root is significant because it works between your kidney, it works between kidney, liver, lymphatic system, and also your intestines. Burdock root. People call it a blood cleanser. This herb don't clean the blood, but what it does, it helps the liver and the kidney to filter the blood properly, and that's why they call it a blood cleanser. So it works between liver, kidney, lymph system, and also bowels. So this is called a medicinal plant. So if you have any kind of troubles in your kidney, or you have troubles in your liver, or you have troubles in your lymphatic system, this herb mixed with other plants will help to normalize the function of the liver and the kidney, but also help the lymphatic system to drain properly, to make the fluids become thin so you can move better. Burdock root, that is. Sarsaparilla, another medicinal plant. Sarsaparilla. Don't forget the names of the plants now. Sarsaparilla is very significant for when you have scaly skin. Sarsaparilla is very important for when you have psoriasis and eczema or any kind of skin condition. Because what sarsaparilla does, it gets rid of what we call endotoxins in your gut, in your belly. Once you remove all the endotoxins from the gut, your skins get better, especially if you're not absorbing fats properly, because lots of people who have excessive amount of bile in the liver, they start to can't emulsify fats well. And once you cannot emulsify fats properly, you will get eczema long term. You understand? So what the sarsaparilla does, sarsaparilla helps to get rid of all the endotoxins in your gut. But it also works on your intestines if you have Crohn's disease, if you have colitis, if you have IBS, if you have leaky gut, if you have ulcerative colitis, if you have diverticulitis, mixed with catnip, yarrow, and also turmeric and ginger. Next one. Moving kind of fast. Cinnamon. Cinnamon is very significant. Looking right here. Cinnamon. Cinnamon have eugenol also. And because cinnamon have lots of eugenol, it is very important for not only the gums, but it is very important for the pancreas. Because it helps, this herb people who have neuropathy. And they have what we call bad purpura circulation. It helps with a very small capillary. See them here? The very small capillaries. See them? That's what ginger, that's what cinnamon works. All the small capillaries. Ginger clean them up. But ginger also helps your pancreas to normalize the function of the gland. But it also helps your beta cells to utilize your insulin well, so you could drop your sugar levels normally, so it works on the endocrine part of the pancreas. You understand? Very important. It is what we call a medicinal plant. But it works well with other plants like this plant over here called lycium fruit for circulation. All right, let's go to this one here. Bacopa. Bacopa is very significant for people who have troubles in the brain. They can't function well. The memory is bad. You understand? If you have brain tumors, if you have inflammation of the brain, Bacopa is very significant to fix these conditions of the brain. We call them medicinal plants. Nettle seed, not a plant again. Medicinal plant. The only plant in the herbal kingdom that helps to regenerate your kidney if it's damaged. If it's not stage 5. If you have stage 3 and stage 2 and stage 1 kidney disease, this herb mixed with other plants is going to regenerate your kidney long term with a good diet. Hawthorn leaf and flower. Hawthorn leaf and flower. Another medicinal plant. Hawthorn leaf and flower helps to prevent plaque from forming on the walls of your arteries. Hawthorn leaf and flower prevents you from getting high cholesterol. Hawthorn leaf and flower helps your heart to have a stronger contraction. Hawthorn leaf and flower act as an amphoteric, like chaga. If your pressure is low, it normalizes the function of the heart. If your pressure is high, it normalizes the function of your pressure. If the heart is beating too fast, Hawthorn lowers the heartbeat. If the heart is beating too slow, Hawthorn brings it up. You know what I'm saying? So any troubles in your heart, you have to use this plant to normalize the function of that muscle and prevent too much oxidation to the heart muscle. Hawthorn does that. Marigold. Very important for your lymphatic system. Very important for your eyes. It has lots of lutein in this particular plant, full of lutein for the eyes. And lutein is found in the back of the retina of the eyes. This also is for fungal infection, yeast infections, parasitic infection. It is what we call a antifungal, antibacterial, and antiparasitic plant at the same time. You know what I mean? So we use this plant when we're going to get rid of any kind of fungus or yeast in the body. So it is a medicinal plant used for any kind of condition like that. Next one. Self-heal. Self-heal is a plant that we use for people who have nodules in the thyroid gland. It dissolves nodules in the thyroid gland. Self-heal is very significant for dissolving nodules in your thyroid. So when you go to a doctor and you have any kind of trouble in your thyroid gland and you want to dissolve the nodules in the thyroid gland instead of doing surgery, you must get self-heal. You understand? Saw palmetto also is a plant used for women to prevent the fibroids from becoming bigger, but it have lots of testosterone. This herb is also important for the prostate gland. It prevents the prostate gland, or it prevents your testosterone from converting into high dihydrotestosterone, so it prevents you from getting prostate cancer long term. But it also is good for the lung. When you have trouble in the lung, cancer in the lung, it is also important to balance and build up your immune system. Skullcap. Skullcap is the best nervine beside Lady Slipper on the planet. This herb right here, skullcap. Skullcap is good for Parkinson's disease. It's good for leg syndrome. When you have this, when you can't control your leg, it moves automatically because of the central nervous system. Skullcap stops that. Skullcap is one of the best herbs to rebuild the nervous system, which takes a longer time to build back. But skullcap mixed with Lady Slipper, skullcap mixed with hawthorn, skullcap mixed with oats, skullcap mixed with passion flower will do wonders for the nerves. Build back the nerves. It is also important for mental troubles. Sage. Sage, not the white sage, not the black sage, the red sage. Very important for any kind of virus in your intestines. Antiviral plant. It's also good for the lung. It's also good for the stomach. But any kind of viral infection you have in your intestines, this herb mixed with cloves, mixed with marigold, is going to kill that virus in your intestines. Lycium fruit. Right here. Lycium fruit protects your liver from oxidative damage. Lycium fruit protects your liver from oxidative damage. Once your liver is protected from oxidative damage, your liver have a lot to do with your eyes. So once this herb helps to prevent liver problems or protect your liver from oxidative damage, your eye will get better because it helps with circulation to your eye cells. Lycium fruit does that. So these are plants that we use for medicinal purposes. And once we use them and the problem is repaired, these plants should be stopped until you have another problem again. Don't forget that now. Food plants, medicinal plants. Now let's go to the poisons. The poisons. These are the poisons now. See them here? Poisons. Bloodroot. Bloodroot is very important for skin cancer, melanoma cancer. It works well for cancer of the skin. But because it is so poisonous and dangerous, we have to use it with caution. So anybody who want to use bloodroot have to go to a trained herbalist who know how to use the plants together for skin cancer and different kind of condition of the stomach and the lung. Comfrey. This herb here, comfrey. Comfrey is a very significant plant to help to build up the bones. It's good for wound healing. It have a lot of minerals, but it have a lot of alkaloids. It have what we call pearlescent alkaloid in the plant. So the FDA banned this plant. So, but it's very significant for lots of things, for wound healing too. When you have a wound, if you're diabetic and you have a wound that can't heal, you must use comfrey. But comfrey have alkaloids that can cause you to have what we call venoocclusive disease in the liver. But once you go to a herbalist who is trained properly and he knows how to use comfrey and chaparral, because they both have alkaloids that cause these troubles long term, he could know how much parts to put if from in the mixture from the chaparral and how much parts to put in the mixture from the comfrey, whereby you won't get that particular side effect. Don't forget now. Yellow root, a bloodroot. Bloodroot, see it here? Good for skin cancer, but have a lot of alkaloids, so you have to be careful. So when you want to use these plants over here, make sure you go to a herbalist that is trained in herbs, and he would know how to make you use the plants to avoid the side effects of these plants. Yellow root, wild indigo. Although wild indigo is very important for Crohn's disease, strep throat, and sinusitis, it also have lots of alkaloids that can cause damage to your kidney and your liver. So when you're going to use these poisonous plants, you have to go to a herbalist who will teach you or who will mix them properly for you, and then you will get a benefit of the plants then, because they have good benefits also. All right, wonderful. Let's go to the over here now. Now, in the winter time, in the summertime, in the fall, and in the spring, foods come in season. Don't forget, foods come in season, right? So for every season, a food comes in. And when the food comes into the season, that food in that season supposed to correspond to your blood in your environment. So once you start to eat another man's diet, you can get another man's disease. That's common sense. That's factual. Yeah? So we have to learn how to use these foods. These foods here, see them here? Sugars. Sugars, sweet fruit, acid fruit, subacid. Follow me. These fruits, because you are living in a climate that is not too hot, you can't use these foods regularly. But again, in the summertime, these foods, we call them territory foods, should only be 20% of your diet in the summertime. In the fall, they should never be 20% of your diet. There should only be 5% or less in your diet in the fall and in the winter and in the spring. When the summertime come back again, you put them as 20% of the diet. Why? These fruits not supposed to be used on a regular basis in the fall and the winter. Watch me now. These foods are cooling foods. They're cooling to the body. So if you use these foods when the temperature is cool, like it's cold outside now, your body going to become too cold. And you're going to suffer from what we call a yin deficiency. Not a yang. It's a principle. Hot and cold. Positive and negative. So these foods are very cooling to the body. But these foods also, if eaten on a regular basis, can make you eliminate lots of minerals and become deficient, mineral deficient, eating too much of these. But in the fall, because they are cooling foods, we're supposed to put them aside and only make them 5% of the diet. You understand? These here, 5% of the diet. These here, 5% of the diet in the fall, in the winter, and in the spring. You understand? Why? Because they are cooling to the body. And because the temperature outside is very cold, they will make you become colder. And you don't want to be cold. You want to have heat. So you have to go to the foods that will cushion your joints and make you warm in the winter time. Here they are now. See them here? Look at them right there. These are the foods you got to use. See them here? These are the foods you have to use when the temperature changes. You understand? From hot to cool. These are the foods because they cushion your joints. They have fats, good fats. And the good fats have to cushion your joints, make you feel warm. Ginger, make you feel warm. So these are the foods that should be at least 60% of your diet in the winter time. Look at the people, the Eskimos. What do they eat in the winter? They eat more fish. Line up, am I speaking the truth or not? A lot of fish because they cushion the joints. You see what I'm saying? So because of the good fats in these foods, and you could burn them up a little bit better in the summertime in your house, you could just walk and burn them up because they need heat to break them down. They cushion your joints and they get you have good membrane health. Good in your fix your brain because they found in your brain. Cholesterol found in your brain. Most of your cholesterol is found in your brain. So these are the foods that you have to use in the winter, in the fall, in the spring, and less of these in the summertime. You understand? And more of these in the summertime, and less of these in the winter, less of these in the fall, and less of these in the spring. You understand? Once you know how to use the foods, you can never get sick. You understand? Once you know the season that you have to use the foods in, you can never get sick. You understand? And that's the reason why we have many more lessons about herbs. You know what I mean? Plants. Because them people making all you feel plants is not good to use. And the same plants they're condemning on a regular basis, 121 drugs that they give you all every day for high blood pressure, for diabetes, for depression, for anxiety, come from these things over here. But it's telling you all it's no good to use. But the same herbs they condemn, 121 different drugs come from plants. You understand? So that's where you have to go. So when you have a sickness, you go, you rest the body, you rest the organs, you go to the herbs, the medicinal plants, and you use them. And you fix your sickness, and after you fix the sickness, the plant should be stopped. We don't believe in giving you things forever and ever. It don't work like that in the herbal kingdom. When you fix your troubles, the plants should be stopped. So now you know how to use the foods in the winter, in the spring, and in the fall. And once you know how to use the foods, your body will take care of you properly and your immune system will kill for you. Blessed love. Now, don't forget now, Christmas time coming, so-called Christmas. We don't celebrate that though. I know a lot of people celebrate it. And I know how to they're going to eat all your ham or your pork. So, when all you finish eat all your ham or your pork for the so-called Christmas, after the so-called Christmas, start to go and we're going to start to do our yeast and parasite cleanse. So prepare yourself for a yeast and parasite cleanse to move all them pork and what you call them, worms, parasites that clinging on to all your intestines. You know what I mean? So after the so-called Christmas, we have a parasite cleanse coming in, and we're going to clean out all them pork you all eat for the for the Christmas time. You understand? Now you see the pork you're eating every day? When you eat the pork go right here, over here, and the pork, the worm from the pork start to clog on your intestine. They grab it on, and they can't come off. And that's the reason why the pork is the pork worm is very hard to repair when they get inside here. Once the worms get inside here, they start to stick on the walls of your intestines. Now, in order for you to get rid of them, you have to kill them around the full moon. So that's what we're going to do. For the full moon after the holidays, we're going to have our next yeast and parasite cleanse to keep you all well after you eat all them ham. Blessed love. Right, Uncle? Yep. Wonderful, man. I hope you all got information. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody who's following the program and following the page. And I want you all to go to come chat with Patrick Dells on Facebook. We have programs and lots of people is getting better. You see the lady with HSV? They can't find it. The young girl who came here with lupus, with the eyes gone, couldn't see. Now she have sight in one eye. So that's telling you that the program that we are putting together for our people is helping them. We say we're going to help everybody. You understand? Because ask Ashanti today, how many people today call with cancer, Ashanti? How many of them? More than 10 call with cancer. 4th stage cancer, 3rd stage cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, thyroid cancer, lymphoma, Hodgkin lymphoma, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. How many of them call today with that, want to go on a program? Because the 30-day program we have, people are getting better. We have a lady who had took chemotherapy, radiation. They went into her spine because the cancer went into her spine. They dig up her spine, and now she walks with a walker. And she's only on the program for 15 days. And it's amazing. She don't even need a walker anymore. You understand? With the 30-day program. So that's telling you that once you put your body back in balance, your body in turn will heal itself, man. With the foods that God gave us to use and the herbs that God gave us to use. That is the key. So we have to do programs, and each program we do, people is getting results. Am I lying, Shanti? People is calling and getting results. Even people from Canada with cancer. We fixing them? Huh?
Yes.
Who fixing them? The Most High Jehovah God. Not me. So don't give no man no glory. I don't want no glory from no man. I want you all to give all the glory to who? The Most High Jehovah God. Don't forget, Ambrosia, 718-469-0985. And don't forget, we are here, all right? 631-530-2329. And you go to Christy Books, KRISTYBWKS.BIZ. And you could get programs there. We have all kind of programs. We have yeast and parasite program. We have high blood pressure program. We have diabetic program. We have cancer program. Go and follow these programs and teach somebody else. Each one teach one. Blessed love. And give thanks and praises to the Most High. It could be closed, man. Give thanks and praises to the Most High.